Alright, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another edition of the return to the SWF. We're beginning on this episode. We have not begun it yet, technically. We are beginning our build to our season finale, SWF's WrestleMania, the Supreme Challenge, number 40. The first one in our save. There are not 39 previous Supreme Challenges that you just can't find on YouTube. It's our first one in the save. And yeah, I got a 10-match card pre-booked for the pay-per-view because it's a 4-hour show. I usually do 6 on the last one because we had a Royal Rumble, but other than that, usually 7. So yeah, I don't have any news to go over. There's nothing really happened in the 4 days in between this and the previous pay-per-view. So let's get into the card for tonight. Announced on social media, we have the Heritage vs. Fame and Money. Brett Biggins will take on Greg Gage to give another chance for an established SWF wrestler to beat up this cocky youngster. And in our main event tonight, we will have Hollywood Bret Starr taking on Valiant, as Valiant tried so hard in the Supreme Rumble to quote, escape the shadow of Rocky Golden, and he made it all the way to the final 3 before being thrown out by Hollywood Bret Starr. So Valiant wants to get some revenge, and he's going to get that in our main event tonight. However, announced on the Supreme Rumble, we have a North American Championship match when Randy Unleashed eliminated Lenny Brown, thanks in huge part to the help of Primus Allen. Almost exclusively to the help of Primus Allen. That was pretty much Primus Allen's elimination. Randy just wanted to get the name credit. And Lenny's like, you know what, fine. You eliminated me. I'll give you a title match. Primus Allen's nowhere allowed at ringside. So let's see if you can really put your money where your mouth is in tonight's title match. So, without any further ado, I already said that, but fuck it. Let's get into the show, and we open the show with a 94 rated angle where the Crippler calls out Mikey Lau, and he's essentially saying, Mikey, that was pretty impressive how you won the Supreme Rumble, and you're going to get your main event title match, but unfortunately for you, kid, the lights are going to be too bright, you're going to get too ahead of yourself, you're going to panic, and you are going to fail. There's always the chance for you to back out, there's always the chance for you to lay down for me, because if you genuinely try to take this world title from me, that men twice as good as you, like Rocky Golden, like Angry Gilmore, like Steve Freely, tried to take from me, you will embarrass yourself at the biggest stage of them all, on the biggest possible match. And Mikey Lau is just unfazed. He does not care. Crippler gives his spiel, and Mikey's pretty much just like, I think I'll take my chances. I've bet on myself a lot throughout my career, and I always seem to gamble correctly. So I'm gonna keep doing that, and I'm probably gonna walk away with the world title. So no, I'm not gonna lay down for you. You can go fuck yourself. Something like that. 94 rated segment, and then we have our opening match, 73 for Fame and Money versus the Heritage. Fucking cool. Monty Trescott with a 76. I always underrate Monty Trescott, and I think it's mainly because he can't cut promos in a promo company, or in a sports end company, so, yeah, that was, I just can't get out of my head that Monty's good, like, you know, Paul Hennington's good, fucking Logan Wolfsbane with a fucking 56 is amazing, but, you know, credit to Monty. 73 for that match, but, yeah, Fame and Money hit the stock market crash, 828, pick up the victory. And then we get a promo by Hollywood Bret Starr, and he's got this giant bandage over his forehead, and he's basically crying, like, this is what Angry Gilmore did to me, this is what that man did to me, it ain't enough to him that he's beaten me twice on pay-per-view, he has to go and injure me, and and then his music hits, and all of these guys bolt away. They bolt through the crowd. Hollywood Bret still has his mic in his hand while he's in the crowd, that's important for later. And Angry Gilmore basically is like, I'm tired of you running your mouth, sending your boys after me. Don't try to make me seem like the bad guy just because I got anger issues. No. That entire Supreme Rumble, I came out at number 1, and you told your Rat Pack fucks to target me, not to prioritize winning, not to prioritize even helping you win, just prioritize screwing me over. So yeah, I kind of mopped the floor with you, but if you're so sick of me having 2 pay-per-view wins over you, then why don't you take me up on an offer of a lifetime? You could get the win at the biggest stage of them all in a no-holds-barred match at the Supreme Challenge. I think it's a no-holds-barred match. I might have to change it now. Oh no. I was right. It is a no-holds-barred match. I thought I fucking forgot my own booking for a second. Where was I? And Hollywood Bret's like, that's a great idea, Angry. I don't like it. So, Angry, you're actually not worthy to face me at the Supreme Challenge. So, it seems like you want your hands on me more than I want my hands on you, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. So, why don't you, over the next 3 weeks, if you can beat all of my guys, which you seem to have such a huge problem with, if you can beat all of them in singles matches over the next 3 weeks, sure, we can have your little match. We can have your little match. And that'll be starting tonight, as there's some time. I'll talk with Eric. I saw we didn't book a full card. That's management's great. How about you tonight? Take on Just Insensitive, and your little fun game will end the day it begins. And Angry, as much as it really does seem like Bret wants the match, he doesn't. He just wants to complain. But Angry does want the match. He wouldn't mind shutting Bret Starr up for one final match, especially in a no-holds-barred match at the Supreme Challenge. So Angry Gilmore is going to run this gauntlet starting tonight. And next up, we have the Awesomeness for a title celebration at the Times of Trouble pay-per-view. Randy Unleashed finally had his actions speak for himself. Instead of using his mouth, he used his hands. I don't know. Awesomeness have been like, your actions are speaking louder than your words. You say you're sorry for what the lack of apathy you showed to us. So until you can actually prove that you're sorry, then we won't help you. And Randy really proved he was sorry after helping the Awesomeness win the tag team titles at the pay-per-view. So their awesomeness celebration is of course interrupted by the Hawaiian Crush, who just say that they will get their rematch next week, and anyone from Unleashed Awesomeness will be banned from ringside. For your first title defense, you have to properly beat the previous champs. 83 rated segment, and now it is time for Greg Gage versus Bart Biggins, a 70 rated match, because Greg Gage is a him. Yeah, match goes 9:55. Greg locks in the Proton Lock, but this whole match, he's just like kind of out of it, a little upset. And in the post match, we find out why, where he grabs a microphone. He's like, since Eric doesn't want to give me proper opponents, give me an actual challenge, maybe I'll go find it myself. And then he throws the microphone down right at Bret Biggins after delivering the sickest promo in one sentence, the biggest diss track on Bret Biggins, like, you are nothing. You are not a challenge. I'm going to go find real competition myself. 73 rated segment. And then we have Anna Garcia with an interview. She's interviewing Randy Unleashed and Primus Allen. And Anna Garcia is pretty much like, so, Randy, you had a really good plan at the Supreme Rumble. However, you came up short. What is next for Randy and Primus and Unleashed Awesomeness as a whole? And Randy's like, I would be mad at that line you just said. That question was very disrespectful, Anna. However, I'm going to let it slide mainly because that's exactly what I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about how Oliver Cobb weaseled his way into eliminating Primus Allen like the coward he is. Well, Oliver, I see you've made your bed, but I hope you plan on laying in it, because next week we're going to have a tag team match. I don't care who you pick for your partner, because they're not going to beat me and Primus Allen. Just Primus is very, very mad with you, and he wants to get his hands on you, and you know what? You kind of ruined my plan, so I want to get my hands on you too. That's why we're doing a tag team match. So yeah, next week, tag team match, Randy and Primus will take on Oliver Cobb and anyone he can find. So regardless of what happens tonight in the North American title match, Randy has got a match for next week too. He is a master at getting a payday. So it is time for Angry Gilmore versus Justin Sensitive, and to the surprise of absolutely nobody, Angry Gilmore wins with an 80 rated match. Pretty good actually for a match with a lower mid-carder. But yeah, 81, and Angry Gilmore completes match 1 of 3 in this Rat Pack Gauntlet to get Hollywood Bret Starr at the Supreme Challenge. And after the match, Hollywood Bret Starr runs up to the ring, and he's like, come on, Angry, you want to fight me? But he's just like, he's just distracting him. That's all it is. He doesn't have any intention of fighting. No surprise. But this is all a distraction so Monty Trescard can run up from behind and low blow Angry Gilmore, and this is pretty much just a match to announce that Monty will be the one to take on Angry Gilmore next week. And so, yeah, following that, we have an interview with Steve Freely and Anna Garcia, once again trying to just piss off these wrestlers for some reason. Asked a question along the lines of, so at times of trouble, Steve Freely, it was your first chance to properly get a one-on-one World Heavyweight Championship match, and the Crippler came out on top. That's got to be very frustrating for you, but I can speak for the rest of the SWF audience in saying we are very interested to know what is next for Steve Freely. And Steve says pretty much like, last time I was here, the Crippler was not the Crippler. He was Lobster Warrior. And he has changed. I've seen him wrestle. Since I was gone. I left in 2014. I've watched him wrestle, and I thought I could take him. Even in triple threats and 5-way matches, I fought him, yeah, but, there's a difference between those multi-man matches and how somebody wrestles in a singles match. So, long story short, Crippler, I'm sorry. I did underestimate you. But it's time for me to rebuild and retool myself so I can come back at you and beat you one-on-one properly. I will begin rebuilding Steve Freely next week. It all begins next week because I got a match against Joey Morgan, and no offense, Joey, but you're going to be a stepping stone in the rebuild of Steve W. Freely. I don't know. That's SWF. I don't know. Yeah, so up next is the North American Championship match. Randy Unleashed versus Lenny Brown. The match goes about 15 minutes, and we got a new champion! Randy Unleashed is your new North American champion, as we see all bad blood within the Unleashed Awesomeness is over, as both Huey Cannonball and Jefferson Stardust ran in for the finish. They repaid Randy Unleashed. Randy gets them the tag titles. They get Randy the North American title. And now all 3 of the original members of Unleashed Awesomeness hold gold here in the SWF. Lenny Brown put up one hell of a fight and probably would have won. You know what? No, he definitely would have won if the Awesomeness were not a factor in this match. But in 15:30, the Awesomeness run in, cost Lenny Brown the match, and Randy Unleashed is your new North American champion. Boom. Oh, that's exciting. I think that's the first TV title change we have this season. And no offense to Lenny Brown, but I have a match for the North American title booked for the Supreme Challenge, and sorta spoiler, it does not involve Lenny Brown, so we needed to do a TV title change here tonight. But after the match, we don't have any time to process what happened, as Des Davis and Squeaky McLean find the self-made sensation, Steven Parker and Dominic D'Souza, backstage, and Des and Squeaky just kind of try to confront them and intimidate them. Des is like, you guys are the reason I was eliminated from the Supreme Rumble. Alright, yeah, Joey Morgan tossed me over the top rope, but if you 2 leeches weren't constantly trying to take me out, I would have walked out on top. And Parker and D'Souza are not fazed. They are not intimidated. They stand their ground, and they're basically just like, okay, well, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? Because you eliminated us. I don't see why you're mad at us. You should be mad at Morgan. Maybe you're not mad at Morgan because you don't think you can take him. Regardless, what are you going to do about it? And Des and Squeaky just kind of stand for a second before going like, fine. And then they walk off. So the self-made sensations just stood their ground and seemed to have won. So before our main event tonight, we have a promo by Rocky Golden. He calls out Scythe. He wants Scythe to meet him face-to-face, and Scythe says, yeah, we're going to meet face-to-face in your habitat, in that wrestling ring, at the Supreme Challenge. How about you meet me next week in my habitat? You see this room I'm in? The dark-lit room that I've been cutting promos in ever since 64 became the head booker? How about you meet me here next week, and we settle this my way first? And Rocky says, fine, just tell me how to get there. I don't know where you are. So following that, we have our main event here tonight. Hollywood Bret Starr takes on Valiant. No Angry Gilmore interference. However, also no Rat Pack interference. Because they don't need to. And even though 81 rated match, I was really hoping for something a little better, but I can understand why it was so low, because even though the Rat Pack did not interfere, Hollywood Bret Starr got an unclean victory against Valiant because of all men to run in. It was Adam Smasher. Adam Smasher ran in, cost Valiant the match, and after the promo, Adam Smasher and Domination are jumping him, and they're like, you will pay, Valiant. You will pay for eliminating those two men. I didn't get to have their backs at the Supreme Rumble because I was taking on Jameson Hernandez, though, the mainstream sellout. Mainstream sellout, Machine Gun Hernandez. But you felt the need to get in the way of progress. And I hate to be the bearer of bad news, Valiant, but if you get in the way of progress, then the revolution takes you out. So next week, you will go face to face with the brick wall that is me, the brick wall of revolution, and you will crumble at the slightest touch of my six-pack brick wall. And that's how we end the show. With an 88. Oh my god, yes. Damn, it feels good to be Supreme. Dude, this is the fucking golden ages, guys. For those of you that are wondering what the golden ages of SWF were, it's right here. It's right here. No offense to Christian Faith. No offense to Rich Money. No offense to Skull to Bones. But they aren't a part of the fucking golden age. We're in the Rocky golden age, baby. Freddie Huggins turned face. Damn, TCW don't know how to book. I mean, a match against him would make anyone turn face. Jesus Christ. That's Jake Panic. I knew I heard that. I've seen the name before. So, yeah, but that's going to do it for this edition of the Return to the SWF. I believe we have a full card pre-booked for next week, actually. Almost full card. No, we do have a full card. Okay, sorry. So, you know what? I might as well run down the card. So, we have Angry Gilmore versus Monty Trescard. SWF World Tag Team Championship match as Hawaiian Crush will get their rematch against the Awesomeness. ZWB and Oliver Cobb will take on Randy Unleashed and Primus Allen. Joey Morgan takes on Steve Freely. And in the main event, challenge made tonight by Adam Smasher himself. Adam Smasher versus Valiant. Progress versus, the brick wall versus Rocky's Shadow in the main event of Supreme TV next week, guys. I hope you're all excited, and I hope you all join me in the continuation of the build to the Supreme Challenge 40.